Hello and welcome into another edition of the Arizona State Sun Devils Insider Podcast. My name is Kevin Hickson. I'm your lead beat writer for the Arizona State Sun Devils on SI and your host of this daily Sun Devils Insider Podcast. And I'm so grateful to be joining you on this wonderful Saturday evening. Arizona State is about 3 hours removed from losing to Iowa State in their regular season finale by a score of 86-65. Um, the Sun Devils had a disastrous let's just start it first. They had a wonderful first half and a disastrous second half. Um, Probably the worst part of this game. I mean, Iowa State went on a 24 to nothing run to take a 20-point lead at one point in the second half. It was 45 to 41, about 3 minutes into the second half. 45 to 44 was the last lead that Arizona State had. And then 21 points in a row, and it's 65 to 45 before you know it. Arizona State went over 10 minutes without a field goal. And it's not to say Arizona State had a bad game offensive, I mean, scoring wise at least, putting the ball in the hoop. Overall, they shot 46% from the field. They did make seven threes. They did shoot a little inefficiently from behind the three-point stripe in the second half. They had a good game at the free throw stripe, only four missed free throws from the team as a whole. The two really ugly parts of the game um, were unfortunately rooted in the rebounding battle and ball security. Arizona State not shot. Arizona State only grabbed four offensive rebounds. So realistically, I mean, they only had a few chances to get second chance points. They only scored two second chance points all game, while Iowa State grabbed 12 offensive rebounds and scored nine second chance points off of that. That might seem trivial at the surface to some of you, but uh, that was kind of just a microcosm of how sloppy Arizona State played versus how polished Iowa State played over the last 15 minutes or so of the game. And the other thing, Arizona State, 23 turnovers as a team. Every single player besides Trevor Best recorded at least one turnover. Masamba Diop had seven. Noah Mayusin had four. Santiago Truitt and Mo Odom had three each, and every single player that played for Arizona State ended up with a negative plus minus. So overall, Iowa State is an absolute machine of a team. They had three players tie um, for the team lead in scoring with 16 points, and then they had two other players that joined them in double figures. And before the game, I said Joshua Jefferson, Temin Lipsy, and Monklevovic were the difference makers in this game for Iowa State. And they ended up being the difference makers. Uh, 11 for 29 from three, 6 of 14 in the second half. Um, had a very, very good game from the free throw line. Uh, I did mention going into the game that they were the second lowest in the Big 12 in terms of free throw efficiency. That was not the case in Saturday's game. And now Iowa State has locked up a double bye in the Big 12 tournament. That's a big win for them. They are not going to have to sweat out a second round Big 12 tournament game. Um, they possibly are back in line to secure a two seed in the NCAA tournament field. Um, to me, TJ Otzelberger deserves to be recognized as, if not Big 12 Coach of the Year, he's should be the runner up. This Iowa State team, I think they came into the year projected to finish fifth in the Big 12. They did finish fourth, but when you're going, I mean, they were on pace to finish top two, but they slipped against Arizona and slipped against Texas Tech. When you play a slate that brutal and you lose a couple of games during that stretch, I'm not going to tax you too much for it. He did an exceptional job with this team, and the fact that they have 39 different times this season where they went on a 10-0 run or better, that just shows how dominant this team really can be. And we saw that today against an Arizona State team that's playing some of their best basketball of the season, to be completely honest. Um, Arizona State knows their NCAA, I mean, their Big 12 tournament fate. They are going to take on the Baylor Bears as the 12 seed against 13 seed Baylor in a rematch of a game that that the two teams played in Waco roughly 2 weeks ago. Baylor won that game 73 to 68. It was a tightly contested game, but I I do not love this matchup for Arizona State. I was of the strong opinion that Arizona State would need to get the 11th seed in the bracket to have a serious chance to make a run in the tournament. Not only because the 11th seed meant that they would play Oklahoma State in the first round, and Oklahoma State's without Fala, who tore his ACL. That gives Arizona State a huge, huge, huge advantage down low. It would also mean that they would play TCU in the second round instead of Kansas if they were to win. And that would be a quad one win to add to their total. That would allow for them to play the three seed instead of the two seed in the next round. But no, the three seed instead of the one seed. As a 12 seed, if they win, hypothetically beat Baylor, if they hypothetically beat Kansas, then they'd have to play Arizona in round three, and that's not optimal. If you were the 11th seed, you'd get to play the two seed, which, I mean, playing, I believe Houston is the two seed. That's not necessarily ideal, but there's worse fates than having to play Houston instead. I mean, I guess it's at the very top, it's kind of convoluted because you don't want to play any of those teams. Maybe you want a third crack at Arizona after you played them tough both times you played them. Maybe that is ends up being the way to go. But um yeah, it's a interesting time to be a fan of Arizona State basketball. We all know the women's basketball program is going to have to wait about a week to find out their NCAA tournament fate after losing to West Virginia. The men's basketball program has one last desperation heave to reach the NCAA tournament. They probably have to win at least two games to get on the bubble and be in consideration. Probably three or four wins to actually get in the field. Um, these are probably the final days of Bobby Hurley as head coach of the Arizona State program, and that's kind of a bittersweet thing for many fans and for me. I really have enjoyed talking to Bobby this year, and like I said, he's been very professional through much of the year. It's been uncharted waters this season, and he's done one of his best coaching jobs this year, even though Arizona State is just 16 and 15. If a couple of games, if there's one or two possessions that go differently, just a little differently in three or four games, you're talking about a 20-win Arizona State team and Bobby Hurley being in contention for Big 12 Coach of the Year. That's how small the margins have been. And that's really all I have to say about Arizona State basketball for today. Thank you so much for tuning in to another edition of the Arizona State Sun Devils Insider podcast. Thank you so much for your support each and every single day, and I will see you with another episode talking about the bracket more in detail tomorrow. Thank you so much.